Hey, tonight's shave is going to have this Declaration Grooming B5 knot. This is the tall handle from Whipped Dog. It is just a resin handle, but the shape of it is exactly what I like. I'm not saying it's the only one I like, but I love it. Just right. I've got big hands. I'm going to put that in. I like to soak my badgers. It's optional. Some people just get them wet. I like to soak mine. This will be the third time I've generated a lather with this knot. And we are going to introduce you to the rest of the gang. This is a WCS handle. And on top of it is a Wolfman WR1 head. And this is chambered in the 0.67 gap. And it's got a Nacet blade inside of it from Gillette. And this will be my second shave with it. This Nacet has seen some action. 34 shaves already. So this will be number 35. I used it during austere August where we used the same gear. I chose to use the same full set of gear including the blade for the whole month. You know, a lot of times these days we throw a blade away after about 7 days, 7 uses. And I've been hearing guys who have gone a lot farther. And so I'm going to see what happens if I do too. The soap we're going to use, this is the old school style tub of Cella. And this is a small tub and it's a little harder to lather from. But to be honest, I like scooping it out anyway because I know exactly how much I got. Due to that little cavity right there, I know that I have less than 1/4 teaspoon. And I believe Cella is one of the soaps where I can, do not need the full 1/4 teaspoon. So let's just try it out. So then I purposefully got a 1/4 teaspoon measure that had very thin walls to it. You know, especially some of the plastic ones are really thick walled. This one's easy to slip into just about any soap. I'm going to press this into the bottom of my lather bowl. It's got those Captain's Choice style ridges in the bottom of it. Except this one, unlike the Captain's Choice, is larger and deeper. And so I prefer it. All right, and there we go. Now I'm going to give my face a little splash. And this reminds me to tell you that my water is hard. So if it works for me in hard water, it might work for you in hard water. And it's whatever comes out of the cold tap, which right now is pretty cool. The brush is soaked for pretty long enough. I'm going to take it out. Give it a mostly shake here. I'm going to shortcut it a little bit by not shaking it out all the way. That way I don't have to add in quite as much water later. Oh, the scent of that Cella is nice. I just spent all of August with Williams. And it takes a little bit more practice and effort to lather the Williams. And it's harder to get the same kind of lather that you can get with Cella and others, but it's possible. Just left a little bit of water in there. Now this is looking a little dry, so I want to take my syringe, and that helps me to add water at about 1/2 teaspoon at a time. You know, someday I might see if I can figure out if Cella is one of those where you can just add it all at once, or if you have to add it gradually. Some of them you definitely should add the water gradually. And if you hear that sound, that means you need to keep adding water. That kind of sucky, scrapey. It'll switch to a much wetter sound. Ah, almost like that. We get a wet spot right there. And indeed the lather is setting up nicely. Now if I switch brushes often too, and so in a way it's not really any good for me to record how much I shook the brush after I pulled it out of the water, because if I'm using a different brush it's going to hold a different amount of water. Got a nice gleam, nice little sheen on this. It's light, but it's there. Looks good and creamy. Notice that kind of dry sound that you heard, that I made note of a minute ago. Not as much around anymore because we're getting hydrated right. Just want to kind of even up the mixture here, make sure I've got no dry spots or no wet spots. And this might be at a good stopping point. Look how elastic that is. We'll see if I got it too wet. All right, get my face wet again. Pause you. And let's do it. Pull off a little bit of the lather from the sides of the brush there. I'll go back for it in just a second. I can still feel a little bit of rawness right here from last night where I wasn't paying close enough attention to my technique, and the Wolfman bit me a little bit. I believe it's this particular gap is slightly above the mid-range. That might be why. If it would have been a more, a mid-range, less aggression, less exposure, then it may have been a little bit more forgiving. Alright, so we've got a lot of the lather that's gathering at the base of the knot. So let's kind of move it around a little bit. Yep, look at that. It's generating almost like it's, and look, it's normal to have kind of a dry middle because that's where you're splaying. And then when you're ready to start your shave, right before that, you switch to the painting motions. And then you're able to make use of all that lather that you've built up on the sides. Look at how, that's an indication maybe that I needed to add more water. But we'll see. It varies from soap to soap. Looking good. The large swipes on my neck here, they don't have little clumpy furrows. If you picture farmland right there, it's got thick ones on the edge, but that's okay because that's the edge. Right in the middle here, nice, even, tiny rows. And so usually is a good indicator to me of a properly hydrated lather. All right. Well, a good bit of blade feel this time. And that's sometimes an indication of a lather that's too dry and hasn't had a chance to kind of bond with your face yet, with your skin surface. So we'll just take it easy. And almost always in that case, the second and third lathers are much better because you do have a chance to kind of let it bond. It's had enough time. Rinse this off. All right, I went ahead and added another half teaspoon of water to the lather and then kind of mixed it up because that was a little too dry. Like I mentioned, it just didn't latch on to my skin very well to protect it. And you know, I almost foretold that because remember, as I put the brush down, I showed you that there was a lot of lather up, and then there was this one little peaky guy up there. That is often an indicator of a lather that needs more water. And Cella could be, and it looks like it is, a soap where even that little bit less than a quarter of a teaspoon, even that was too much. So maybe I mean, heck, maybe even an eighth of a teaspoon. Look, considering all the lather I have here, an eighth of a teaspoon might be the way to go. There's not that many soaps out there that are like that. Especially the American artisans. A lot of them take the whole quarter teaspoon. So in that sense, the Cella could be a much better, a more economical soap. Despite, I mean, it's already got the price advantage. But then when you can use up half as much at a time, that's great. All right. So this should be a lot smoother. Not a lot smoother, actually. I'm going to work on my angles here. I'm going to raise my handle up a bit. And that, oh, that's much better. For my skin, perhaps the a little bit more pressure on the top cap is the way to go. Oh, that's smooth. I'll have to remember to do that when it comes time. For the first pass again on another day, because you really can't judge something with how it, only by how it works on the third pass, you know, because the third pass has got a lot of the hairs removed already. That was the second pass. Guess I should have said second pass. All right. That's a great classic scent, kind of a cherry almond. Very nice creamy slickness as I was rinsing that time. Very nice. Get a little bit of lather from the tub. Go at it again. Still feeling that irritation right here from yesterday. So I'll be sure not to hit that area too many times. We'll see if we can get that squared away. There we go. Tons of lather left over. Definitely put that in my notes, so maybe I can have a head start on it next time I bring out the Cella And again, this is a brush. I meant to say blade. This is a blade that's been used 34 times prior to this. And this is a new razor for me, and I almost wanted to bring in a new blade, because if there are issues, then you don't know whether to attribute the issues to the old blade or the new razor. But on the other hand, if you get it to work, then you're like, wow, this razor works well with a blade that's kind of already gone through its paces. This is very interesting, because with a dart, I got a smoother shave by bringing the handle, from Blackland, bringing the handle in on the second and third passes. With this one, it seems to be stronger for me and more comfortable if I take it out and kind of ride the top cap with a little more focus. All right, that was a much more comfortable pass. I guess that was a third pass. All right, I'm gonna pause you. There's a clump right there that I think I'm gonna hit again. I think I have enough lather. Definitely can reduce the Cella that I used, and that's one of the advantages. Let me put some water on there first. That's one of the advantages of using the measuring spoon. If you find you've done it too much, you're not really in the dark about how to change it. I think a lot of people think it's overdoing stuff, but that's the cool thing about shaving. Just you can do it how you like it. You can just nerd it all up if you want, or just shoot from the hip, whichever way. If you do get a razor that's a little more aggressive for you than you might normally like, see if you can find an angle to use that kind of mutes it down a little bit, because it's a really neat tool, and I discovered with the dart. Because with the, I'm not even going to try this because that's the kind of irritated place. I learned that with the dart, close the handle in on second and third passes, and it turned it into a terrific shaver that I could use every single day if I wanted to. Whereas if I kept the angle in my normal kind of natural maximum bite, it was so aggressive that was too aggressive for my skin, and I would get irritation like crazy. But I figured it out, and so from that point on, I could choose by my angle. I could choose, do I get a level 5 aggression, lift the handle out a little bit, now I'm back to level 7 aggression. It's almost like it had a on-the-fly switch to change the aggression levels. Pretty cool. So today, to kind of help maybe this to heal even better, I'm going to turn to a salve, Gratiot League Square, from Chatillon Luxe, if I'm pronouncing the company's name properly. And it is a kind of a hard, not hard, but you know, it's not a lotion. And you just take a little bit out. And the warmth of your body heat is what kind of turns it into something that you can then, more like a lotion that you can spread on your face. So I'm going to pause you while I do that. So I went ahead and rubbed that in, just kind of with my fingertips. I think somebody's instructions say to do it in your palm, But I mean, it's kind of hard to get your palm on all your spots, and so I just kind of keep it on my fingertips. I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not, but it works for me. And the reason I chose this is because it's got ingredients like shea butter and witch hazel, avocado oil, coconut oil, aloe vera, lanolin, glycerin. So I think those are some things this area needs right now. So, and this scent is, come on, it's terrific. And I think this goes a long way. Little tub here, I got mine used, and so then that takes a couple dollars off of it. So I think they're cool. Not quite as fast as just squeezing out a bit of lotion or something and then spreading it around, but I think it's worth it. I mean, the scents this guy develops are just next level. All right. So that's a 3-pass shave with neck as the 4th pass. And this is how much soap we have. So tons of gorgeous lather left. So now we can know to reduce that, the amount that was in the 1/4 teaspoon even more to conserve soap. I could definitely shave with that another 2 passes, probably 3. All right. I'm glad soap's cheap, so you can make mistakes like that without it being too damaging to your wallet. And then this guy is at 1/2 of a syringe, which is 1 teaspoon. I think I added a whole complete syringe, and then I refilled it. And so then that would be 3 teaspoons was added to the lather to get it to come to the right thing. So next time I do this brush with Cella, maybe I just need not to shake it out at all. Let that be a good starting point. Oh man, that Gratiot League Square is so good. Man, that's nice. All right, and it's hard for me to identify. It's almost warm, like it's just, I don't have, I mean, you know, read up on it online because I sure am not able to really place it. It's almost like it's a warm scent. It's almost like there's a note in there that might be in the kitchen, but that's not what you think of. I can't play. It's such a great medley. It's really hard to pull out anything, or maybe the things that are in there are just ones that I'm not attuned to, and so then it's harder for me to, you know, pull those out. Anyway, that's the way it is. I'm gonna keep cleaning up. After taking a look at the results there, and I'll say it again, it's probably been a while. My cheeks shave really easy. The hair is straight down, and so I don't even have to go against the grain. And often I get near baby butt smooth in that area. This side of my neck gets a great shave just about every time, no matter what. And so this is the swirly area with a recess right here that is so much a problem child. And so that's why I will often just refer to this when I think of the quality of the shave, because just about anything will get this area well. And so this is the tester right here. And right now it's at above average, very much so. I don't believe all of the hairs have been cut flush. I think there's just a couple that I can see with just a little bit of length on them, and that is way above average for me, since in my neck I can't go against the grain. Too much irritation there. So in terms of quality, the closeness of the shave, just excellent for what I usually can get. And the face feel, yeah, I'm still feeling a little bit right here, so I must have really irritated my skin yesterday with that. But now I've discovered the more open angle, and so I'm very curious. Like right now, I don't really feel any irritation anywhere else. Also yesterday at the end of the shave, I decided to use Old Spice, and it's very alcohol-y. And so it let me know that there were some stingy spots in a couple of places. But right now my face feels great. If I touch this area, then I can feel just a little bit of tenderness and stuff. But so hopefully it'll be all healed up, by tomorrow. So really happy with the quality of this guy, and it's possible that with that more open handle angle, that this has put this razor in a very sweet spot for me. Looking forward to trying that more. So now we've put 35 uses on this Nacet. It's not the blade, from what I understand. Some guys who regularly take these DE blades further, they say that in a few cases it's the blade, but in most cases it's your technique and just how careful you are to protect the blade and stuff. And so Nacet's just a good blade, and I guess it's proving itself. So pretty cool. Well, there we go. It was a hot day today, and sweating all over the place, weed eating the lawn, that sort of thing. And took kids to a movie, got back and put them to bed, and now done with this shave, so I can just kind of relax. All right, face feels great. Closeness of the shave is way above average. Cheeks 90%, 92% baby butt smooth without going against the grain. Very nice. Really like this setup. Can't wait to try that Wolfman again with the more open handle angle, and we'll see if it is as magically smooth again. I think the reason it wasn't as smooth today in the first pass, because that first pass was too dry. It needed some more water, and I'm confident that was the case. It would have had a lot better glide and less scratchiness if I'd had some more water in it. All right, we're done. Can't think of anything else. This Gratiot League Square, man, that's smelling good. I like it. It sticks with you for a little while too. I've got oily skin. If you do too, then maybe this is not something you would want to use on a regular basis because it's just so hydrating and it's got so many oils as a part of its own composition. Then it may not be your thing, but I definitely like to keep it around, number one, for the scents, and number two, if I've really got some irritation that I need to soothe and some skin that needs to be helped out. So there we go. And speaking of being helped out, I hope that something here in this video helps you out. Hope there was something here for you. I am Sugar Daddy Shaves. Take care. Have a good night.